of Notre Dame. Well, let's go out to Rich Heide and see what's going on. Rich?
Thanks so much, Gary. I'm here with Mike Flanigan and senior members of the BAJA SAE Club. Now, Mike, would you mind taking us a little bit through about what we have here and about the club in general as well?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Mike. I'm a senior on the BAJA team. I'm a member of the suspension design team. And what we have here is we've got our vehicle that we designed for the Society of Automotive Engineers BAJA competitions. So what we do is we design an off-road vehicle to race for 4-hour competitions. We bring it through tech inspections and design meetings. And then we build it and we validate it. We spend our whole year working on this car with a team of seniors and then also underclassmen. We're currently a growing team. And basically the whole goal is to try to survive through the culmination of the event, which is an endurance race, which is obstacles, it's logs, concrete cylinders, drops, mud pits. Really, it's everything they can throw at us to try to prove that we've engineered and learned and have some real hands-on quality real-time experience.
So, Mike, obviously I know this is a very labor-intensive process, but at the same time it's also an educational opportunity. Can you take us through the fact that this is a capstone engineering course here at the university and kind of the opportunities that this course provides you here at Notre Dame?
So as a capstone project, it's pretty unique because every senior engineer has to go through a capstone design project. But for us, it's really a voluntary commitment. And I say commitment because it's really, it's vast. I mean, the complexity of the project, we're spending weekends, nights, over the summer, we're scheduling, planning, we're at last year's competitions, taking notes, trying to figure out how we can get better and, be more competitive than everyone else. And then throughout the year, we're spending our time designing, reviewing, working on each other's, checking each other's work, and then we move into building. And really, it's unique because it's got so much hands-on experience. There aren't many other senior design capstone projects where you're in a shop welding, you're learning how to use mills and machining, bending your own tube and cutting it, and then really going out there and testing it and showing that you have the hands-on engineering experience that employers really need and see in the real world. For example, we finish our design, and on day one we think it's an A+ design. We're like, great, it's going to do great. And then we bring it out in the field and drive it for 4 hours and try to abuse it and see how we do and shake up our drivers and find out where we got it a little bit wrong and what we need to fix.
Obviously, as you mentioned, it's a ton of work that goes into this, but can you take us through maybe a little bit of the technical aspects of the car? And I'm sure you guys have quite a group over here, and I'm sure it's a very tight-knit group. So can you talk about kind of the camaraderie that you guys have as a group here as the BAJA SAE members?
Of course. So as a group, the way we split it up is with this bigger project, we really break it into sub-teams. So here we've got senior leaders on each of the sub-teams. We've got suspension, drivetrain, chassis, and we really break down into each component so we can work on optimizing each of those. So for suspension, we're working on trying to soak up all the abuse from the obstacles. Drivetrain, we're trying to build a fast, efficient system. Chassis, we're trying to build something that's structurally safe and meets the really extensive rule requirements given to us by the Society of Automotive Engineers. And it's really all about keeping drivers and students safe while also pushing our knowledge and pushing our ability to build, design, engineer an incredible off-road vehicle.
So I think the question that everybody's wondering here about this car, how fast does it go?
It tops out about 25, but we're hoping to hit 30 by the end of
25 to 30, not bad at all. Now talk about the competition. Obviously, I understand you guys just got back from a competition, and maybe talk a little bit about the progression of the club and what's coming up moving forward.
So for competition, it's really the most exciting time for the team. I mean, we spend long hours in the shop hanging out and working on the project together. So when we finally get to go on that long road trip, sometimes too long road trip, to our competitions, this last one was in Auburn, Alabama. It was actually 2 weeks ago, and we traveled down there, raced and competed for 4 days. There's tech inspections, so we have to prove that our design meets the requirements. Some teams show up and don't get to race at all because they haven't met the rules, which is kind of heartbreaking to see and watch. And then for us, we then spend the next of it, we get to start having the fun. We get the reward from all of our long hours of work, where we've got dynamic events. So there we've got acceleration, maneuverability, suspension courses, where they're really pushing and testing our design, trying to find out exactly what we've built. And then on the last day, it culminates in the full endurance race that I talked about before. And as you'll see here, I mean, the reason the vehicle is so muddy and dirty is because it's been through it all for hours and hours of abuse. And really, we do this. This is the first year. We're a growing team, and this is the first year we're going to 3 competitions. So we went to a competition 2 weeks ago. We got back exhausted, tired, sleep deprived, but happy with how we did. And then this weekend, we basically spent the week in between preparing the car again, doing repairs, doing redesigns, and getting ready for this last weekend where we went and did a testing session at Chrysler at their proving grounds, which was pretty intense. I mean, they don't mess around there. They've got their Jeeps and everything, so it's a pretty serious drive. And then 3 weeks from now, we'll be in Portland, Oregon, and we'll be racing again in the final competition against all the top teams and international teams. So that's what we're working on right now.
Pretty amazing. Quite an extensive network we have here. The BAJA SAE Club, we're joined by Mike Flanigan and his group here, the engineering club here at the University of Notre Dame. Now let's go to Digger Phelps. Hope you enjoyed this interview.